Hey, so you guys remember the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5? That thing was an absolute beast. We saw it inside the OnePlus 15, the Samsung S26 Ultra, and honestly, one of my personal favorites, the Red Magic 11 Pro. That chip was already doing things that felt almost unfair for a mobile processor. But Qualcomm, they're not stopping there, not even close. Because right now, leaks are already coming out about the next one, the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 6, and honestly, the numbers being thrown around are kind of crazy. So here's where this is coming from. A well-known tipster called Digital Chat Station, this person has a solid track record with Qualcomm leaks, just dropped some details about what's coming. And according to them, Qualcomm isn't just releasing one chip this time, they're releasing two, a regular version and a Pro version. Think of it like an iPhone situation. Same family, but one is clearly the big boss. The regular one carries the model number SM8950, and that's expected to be the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 6. The Pro version is the SM8975, the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 6 Pro. Both of these are expected to be announced around September, which lines them up perfectly for the next wave of flagship phones coming towards the end of the year. Now let's talk about what both of these chips have in common first, because this part alone is already exciting. Both chips are built on TSMC's 2nm process. Let that sink in for a second. Right now, the best chips on the market, including the Elite Gen 5, are on 3nm. Going from 3 down to 2 is a massive jump. What that means for you in real life is simple. More performance, less battery drain. The chip can do more work while using less power. Your phone gets faster and lasts longer. That's the dream, right? And both chips also share the same CPU architecture, 2 plus 3 plus 3. That means 2 super powerful cores at the top for the really heavy tasks, then 3 mid-range cores for everyday stuff, and 3 efficiency cores running in the background, keeping things smooth without eating your battery. It's a smart setup, and we've seen this kind of layout work really well already. Okay, so now let's break down the differences, because this is where it gets interesting. Let's start with the regular Gen 6, the SM8950. This one comes with an Adreno 845 GPU. Now the GPU is basically what handles your graphics, gaming, video, anything visual. The Adreno 845 is already a step up from what we have now, and it comes with 12 megabytes of GMEM, which stands for graphics memory. More GMEM means the GPU can handle more visual data at once, so when you're playing a demanding game at high settings, things stay smooth instead of dropping frames. It also supports up to quad-channel LPDDR5X. Quad-channel means the phone can talk to its RAM through 4 lanes at the same time instead of 1 or 2, so data moves faster. Everything feels more responsive. And on top of that, it has 6 megabytes of last-level cache, which is basically a small but super fast storage area right next to the processor. The bigger the cache, the less time the chip spends waiting around for data. So yeah, the regular Gen 6 is already sounding like a serious upgrade. But then there's the Pro. The SM8975, the Gen 6 Pro, is where Qualcomm is clearly going all out. This one gets the Adreno 850 GPU. That's a whole generation jump in GPU naming compared to the regular version, and it comes with 18 megabytes of GMEM. Remember the regular had 12 megabytes? The Pro gets 18 megabytes. That's 50% more graphics memory. For gaming on your phone, for running AI features, for any kind of intensive visual processing, that extra GMEM is going to make a real difference. But here's the part that really caught my attention. The Gen 6 Pro supports 2 different RAM types. It can use either quad-channel 16-bit LPDDR5X, which is already fast, or it can use quad-channel 24-bit LPDDR6. Now, LPDDR6 is the next generation of mobile RAM. We haven't really seen it in phones yet at scale, and if this chip supports it, the phones that use the Gen 6 Pro could be some of the first to actually run LPDDR6 memory. That means even faster data speeds, better multitasking, smoother everything. And the Pro also bumps the last level cache up to 8 megabytes, compared to 6 megabytes on the regular version. Small number difference, but in the world of processors, cache size matters a lot. More cache means less waiting, and less waiting means faster performance in basically everything you do. Now, there's one more thing the tipster mentioned, and I want to touch on it quickly. Apparently, there's also a Snapdragon 8 Gen 6 without the Elite branding, also in the works. But the leaker specifically said its specs are going to be less impressive, so it sounds like Qualcomm is keeping that one for the more mid-range flagship phones. You know, the ones that want to feel premium but maybe sit at a slightly lower price point. So, just to put this all together really quickly before we move on, you've got the Gen 6, 2 nanometers, Adreno 845, 12 megabytes of GMEM, LPDDR5X, 6 megabytes of cache, an already monster chip. Then you've got the Gen 6 Pro, same 2 nanometer base, but Adreno 850, 18 megabytes of GMEM, LPDDR6 support, 8 megabytes of cache, an absolute unit of a chip. And Qualcomm is expected to pull the curtain back on all of this in September. Now, think about which phones are going to use these. If the Gen 5 ended up inside the OnePlus 15, the Samsung S26 Ultra, and the Red Magic 11 Pro, just imagine which flagships are going to be rocking the Gen 6 Pro next year. Samsung S27 Ultra, a new Red Magic gaming phone, some OnePlus Beast. The competition is about to get really, really fun to watch. This is just the beginning of the leaks. As we get closer to September, more details are going to come out. Clock speeds, AI performance numbers, thermal management, and when they do, we're going to be right here breaking it all down for you. So make sure you're locked in, because 2026 for flagship phones, it's shaping up to be genuinely wild.